Women's reactions really show where their mental point of origin is. Yes, it is. Tell me you care about men without telling me. Now, one of the things I threw out there, and I think this should be obvious to everyone else, is that the first thing, ladies, I'm going to look. This is a message for the ladies. Why the two that watch my show, ladies. Here's the deal. If you don't want to be treated like a fucking piece of meat, if you don't want to be treated like an object, stop treating yourself like a fucking object. It's a curb this fucking high. Okay, you can fucking get over this. Now, the first reflex women had wasn't, oh my God, we lost to Trump. We better get better candidates. Maybe we should rethink our policies. Maybe our men folk were reacting because we needed to pay more attention to them. Maybe we should be rethinking things. Maybe we should be a little bit more insightful. Maybe we should change our mind on a few things. Maybe we should, I don't know, come up with a better candidate, come up with some, how can we improve our game so that we don't get fucking shut out in 2028? What can we do? No, that's not the first thing that fucking crosses your mind. You know what it is? We're not fucking you. That's the whole thing. Yep. That's the whole, God, you know what? Until you men folk do what we want you to do, no more pussy for you. You're a set of, that's what Patrice O'Neill said. You've reduced yourself to a set of fucking holes. That's what you're about. That's all there is to you. So when Rollo Tomasi tweets this again over and over and over again, saying that women's only real agency is their sexuality, you're proving me right. When you have this discourse, when your first reflexive knee-jerk response is, you're not kidding, I'm dry as a fucking desert. And of course, which is, of course, fishing for a reaction. And that reaction is what all these other guys go, well, I wouldn't want to fuck her anyways. I would kick her out of bed. I don't want a bitch. Like, imagine having to listen to this bitch, right? Of course, that's the reflexive answer from guys because it's funny. This is what guys think that they're expected to say, right? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't fuck her anyways. She's a liberal. Oh, they can cut their hair all they want, right? Notice that the chicks who were cutting their hair, notice the chicks who were having this reaction, even the girl who was, okay, you talking down to you like a fucking grammar school teacher. All right, use your inside voice, little boy. Like that kind of shit. Like that patronization, that shit. Ladies, that's what fucked you up in the first place. That's why you're here. That fucking response, that reflects that hubristic just entitlement to respect and entitlement to anybody would fucking care about you, much less your. That's the first place you go. The first fucking reaction you have is, we're not fucking any of a 4B. We're not fucking with no men folk whatsoever. And they go MGTOW. You guys are WGTOWs. Women going their own way. That's essentially you're female incels now. You've created, and of course, I don't think they're going to stay this way. Of course not. But notice that they think that that's the quickest, that's the easiest way to get what they want. You voted for the wrong guy, so therefore no pussy for it. Does that mean that if we had voted for Kamala, they'd be fucking jumping, we'd be having fucking this acrobatic right now? Like they'd give up if we had fucking voted for Kamala? No, they wouldn't. They'd be on their high horse going, well, it's about time that we had a woman in the White House. It doesn't matter that it's Kamala. She's a fucking idiot, but who cares? She's got a vagina. That's all that matters, right? That would have been the reaction. It wouldn't have been, thank you, progressive men. I am so for you right now. Do you think that those would be the TikTok responses? No, they wouldn't, because women have reduced themselves to a sexual commodity because that's all they think of themselves as. At least, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me I'm fucking wrong, because all I see is reaction video and meltdown video after meltdown video. And every single one of them is, we're not going to fuck men because they made the wrong choice. They voted for the wrong candidate. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me, please. I kind of want to be wrong about this, but it's not. They simply want to get naked. Whenever a woman wants any kind of attention, she defaults to her sexuality. Their only real agency is their sexuality. And when that kind of decays and goes away, they become more powerless and more powerless. That's why women wear makeup when they're 80 years old. They want to harken back to that time when they had some sort of agency or power, right? Because they derived it from their looks. They derived it from what I keep saying this, and like people fight me on this all the time. And I say, look, women would rather be objectified than idealized. They would rather be objectified than to be sort of put on a fucking pedestal. How do we know this? Because women do this all the time on TikTok. They're doing it right now. That's why I keep saying this is a very important time for guys to sort of pay attention, manosphere men, pay attention right now. Because the responses and the reactions you're seeing are heartfelt. These are for real. This is where they're at. They're afraid that they're going to have to cut off their fucking fingers in a literal sense. Cut off their fingers. They're afraid that they're going to have to be forced into having babies that they didn't want to have. They're we're going to lose. We've lost our rights. I woke up this morning. I lost them. What fucking rights have you lost? They couldn't tell you that, and they still probably couldn't tell you that. I was on now. I don't want to run her up the flagpole because I kind of liked Eden quite a bit, but she was the only liberal girl that we had on the panel for Access Vegas. And I kind of knew I was going to do this, and I had my my sample ballot, which this is for the state of Nevada. It's a sample ballot, right? I still had it. I had it in my backpack. And I didn't do this because I didn't want to slow the show down, but I asked her, I said, well, who did you vote for? Well, of course, for Kamala Harris. Why? Well, she is the candidate that that represents a woman's right to choose. Like, oh, okay. So abortion was a key factor for you, right? She says, yes. I go, okay, well, how about this? Which way did you vote on question number 6? Question number 6, I'll just read you the summary of question number 6 here. This is question number 6 for the Nevada, it's amendment to the Nevada Constitution. Initiative Petition C05-2023. Should the Nevada Constitution be amended to create an individual's fundamental right to an abortion without interference by state or local governments whenever the abortion is performed by a qualified healthcare professional until fetal viability? That was actually kind of the hook and the bait here. Until fetal viability, or when necessary to protect the health of the pregnant individual at any point during the pregnancy. That's the quick, easy understanding. Now, there's a whole description of it back there. Which, whenever I see who's to be what I'm voting for, I'm always looking at the questions too. I would feel bad if I wasn't an informed voter about what the things that I'm asked to like sort of decide for my state, my county. I keep telling people like, all politics are local. I'm happy that Trump got into office, but you know what? I'm not quite so happy that my elected senator is still, what's her face? Susan, what's her name? I think, and you'll also notice that Nevada and Arizona were the last states to come in. Like they were still counting and tallying votes like 2 days later. And the reason for that is because they had Sam Brown versus Jackie Rosen. Jackie Rosen is the incumbent Democrat. I don't know that she got it. I still don't know, because Nevada sucks when it comes to, they do. This is not the only, this is for the last 3 fucking years. Okay. Now I also want, so anyways, let me just finish my story. Eden was talking about this and I said, what did you vote on question 6? She said, oh, I don't know that I voted on question 6. I'm like, for somebody who voted for Kamala Harris because you were worried about losing the right to a safe and legal abortion, I would think that would have been the first thing that you would have known about and would be able to talk about in great depth. But it's not, because they don't care. Now, again, I'm not trying to run Eden up the flagpole, but she's representative of sort of this female mindset where if you tell them, vote for this candidate or you're going to lose Roe v. Wade, that's who they're going to vote for. But if I say, well, what did you vote for on state question number 6, which has everything to do with the terminology used, it's fetal viability, right? About abortion, they don't know they have no idea what you're talking about, because nobody looks past maybe the first few partisan offices. That's all they look at. I know more about your right to choose, ladies, than you fucking know. Me, the man, the guy who voted for Donald Trump. I know. And you know what? And I've also voted no on it, on question 6, right? Because I don't think they should fucking touch the terminology. Anytime somebody wants to change terminology, no, fuck you. If you want to change something that's substantial and concrete about it, then I might have something to say. But still, I'm voting one way here, and then I'm voting another way in another, right? Because that's the state constitution. This is Donald Trump, right? The short version of this is I know what I'm talking about because I took the time to actually. It took me like 10 minutes to read this, right? And if that's imperative to you, you should know, ladies. If you are that fucking concerned that you're going to cut your hair and you're going to snap your legs shut and you're dry as a fucking desert. You should at very least know what the fucking question is at least in the state of Nevada, what that's about. Like, why are you not an educated voter? Why? If I'm supposed to take you seriously, if you don't want me to think that you're just a set of, you should know about question 6. Why? You don't. I do. That's the problem. And then, so last but not least, and I only noticed this, I think I mentioned this to you last time. I only noticed this on last Sunday when I was driving out last Sunday. And I'm driving. Now, this is the first time I've ever voted in Clark County. I used to live in Reno, so I was Washoe County up in Nevada, right? And so I'm driving along, and I'm looking at all these, these politicians that are running for local office in Clark County, right? Commissioners, judges, mayors, county commissioners, that kind of stuff like that. And damn near every single one is female. Almost everyone. And so I wanted to show, I won't show you. It's kind of a little hard to see, but like if I'm looking at, that's okay. I could just read these real quick. If I'm looking at Justice of the Supreme Court seat C, this is for Supreme Court of Nevada. Okay. The state of Nevada. We have Elisa Kaddish running unopposed. No one. Let's see. We've also got Patty Lee, Justice of the Supreme Court seat F. These are 6-year terms, by the way, 6 fucking years. Okay. Patty Lee running unopposed. Let's see. Lydia Stiglitz was running for Justice of the Supreme Court seat G, 6-year term, unopposed. Okay. District Court Judge, Department 7, 2-year unexpired term, Daniela K. Piper, running unopposed. There's no other. You can only put your little check mark on one of those. And then we've got, let's see. Oh, finally, here we got our first man. Okay. District Court Judge, Department 14. You can vote for Alan Lefebvre or Tina Talim. Okay. Well, at least got a guy in that one. And so I looked at the rest of these things and I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like, now this is on men. Okay. We're going to talk about, we're in the manosphere. No, we're not in the fucking manosphere. Not when our judges, our Supreme Court judges, are there for 6-year terms, and they're female. Female judges there's a separate standard of justice for men and for women. Okay. When this is very well documented, very well studied, very well researched, whenever you see the punishment for a crime and the man is given a sentence, women are almost unilaterally given more lenient sentences for the exact same crimes. I'm going to lay that at the feet of the fact that we have more women in the legal system right now as attorneys, as judges, as district attorneys, as whatever you want, AGs, whatever they are. And I'm bringing this up, and I brought this up. I brought it up. I think I brought it up last week, and then I started bringing it up just slightly on Access Vegas, and I tweeted this out. I said, "Do you know who your elected Supreme Court justices are for your state? Look and see how many women are who want to be mayor. Look how many women want to be on the county board of commissioners. How many women are running unopposed in your county or your parish or wherever you are? How many?" And people saw, guys kept coming back going, "Oh my God, you're right. There's nothing but women that are running for these fucking offices. My God." That all politics are local. I don't give two. I mean, I'm glad that Trump is in office and defeated Kamala Harris because he's the best candidate for the whole thing, right? I don't vote for a particular party. I vote for who I think is the most rational, reasonable, choice of the two that I get, right? And since 2016, that has been Donald Trump. There was no way on planet fucking Earth I was ever going to vote for Hillary Clinton. Okay. And as Mike Sartain will point out, I don't vote for women, period. And simply because I think we need more men in those positions. And clearly we do, because so many women are running unopposed. So if I'm an asshole and a sexist fuck for only voting for men, then ladies, you're a sexist fuck for telling me that we need more women in office. And you're because let me tell you something. If gender is just a social construct, why does it matter? Why would it make any difference at all who has a penis and who has a vagina in that fucking position, right? So if I'm going to say I think men would be a better choice in this position because they have a better personality for it, they have better predispositions for it, they have a better proclivities for it, just simply because they're men. If you don't know what question 6 is and you're still voting for Kamala, that's the same fucking thing.